I want you to imagine yourself waking up in the middle of a deep, dark forest. You're wet, you're cold, little to no clothes on. And I want you to imagine yourself running through this forest, tripping, falling, prickly weeds snagging you, thorns ripping through your skin, falling face down in the mud many times over, hungry, blind at times, dark. There ahead, you see a light. You see this light get closer and closer as you find yourself in the thickest of the weeds, noxious growths, thorns. You're so hungry, you're so tired, your body's ripped to shreds. And then like that, you stumble out into it. You look around, and it's a giant field, beautiful, beautiful field full of all flowers. You can imagine just trees outlining it. The sun's coming down, it's warm. You never realized just how tired you were until coming into the light and feeling the warmth that you feel. Now I want you to think of 3 people in your life who have hurt you really bad. You hear some commotion to your right and you look. And you see that first person that has really hurt you bad come stumbling out. He or she is just as cut up, bruised, and broken, wild-eyed, hungry. And the shock, the same shock that you felt when the warmth, the light comes down on them. They notice that you're looking at them, and they walk over to you. Humbly, not looking you in the eye, they hand you they hand you some gems. And you take the gems and you look at them. And then you realize you have something for them as well, and you reach in your pocket and you pull out gems and you hand it to them. You then look at that person and you say, "Please forgive me, for I have forgiven you." Take a few minutes and really think about this. What would you say? Shortly thereafter, an angelic being comes down, takes that individual to a different part of the field, and you see the countenance of that angel envelop, or the energy, the countenance, the gold light envelop that individual. It looks to be they're being taught. To your left, you hear another stumbling, and this next individual comes flying out face first, hitting the soft grass of the field. Just by looking at this person, you can already tell that they have been put through the same test that you have, clothes are ripped up, wet, bruised, wild-eyed hunger. They lay there for a few minutes until they realize that the warmth is coming on the back of their head, and they finally lift their head up. They look directly into the sun, or directly into the source of the light, and close their eyes because it's too bright to truly look. And they sit there for a while, just soaking it in, realizing that, is it over? Is it finally over? They lower their head and look over to you. They stand up and they walk over to you. And they say, I have something for you. And they again hand you some gems. And you look at them and you say, you have something for them as well. Reaching in your pocket, you also hand them some gems. You look at them and you say, please forgive me. I forgive you. With the second individual who have hurt you deeply in this world, what might else would you say to them? Again, an angelic being comes down and takes them. And you see them go off into a distance. And again, this individual appears to be being taught. This third individual comes crashing, like the two before, into the light. Immediately jumps up, looks around, and this look of absolute relief washes over their face. They're just as beat up, bruised, and scratched, and tore up as the rest of you. But this third person notices you faster and walks over to you, hands you some gems, and says, please forgive me. Please forgive me. You now look down at your hands and you also have gems to give to this person. You give those gems to that person and you say, I do forgive you. Please forgive me. Again, another angelic visitor comes down and takes this third person, not too far away from you. From behind you, you see this light shoot past you, and this warmth, like you have never experienced before, it pales in comparison to what you've just experienced. Not only warmth, but this love. You turn around and you look up and you see two blue eyes. Two blue eyes like fire. Hair wavy. Robes. This man reaches forward and first thing you notice is his prints in his hands and his wrists. You know that it's the Christ. He embraces you and just holds you. Finally comes down on one knee and looks you right in the eye and says, well done, my faithful servant. Well done. There's many times that we really don't have any control of what happens to us, especially as kids. Or we make bad choices, we get ourselves into bad relationships, and a number of bad things can happen to us. But when we think about it, every single one of us is running the same gauntlet. Every single one of us is running a gauntlet that tests us to the very brink. We don't come out of this life in a brand new suit. No bruises, no cuts, no emotional damage. We're all damaged. Come sliding into home plate, bruised, beat up. And that's the way this life's meant to be. Christ has paid the ultimate sacrifice. He has already paid for all the hurts, the sufferings, the depressions, the sins, all the hurt that has ever happened to each and every one of us, all the abuse. He carries that. Carries that engraven on his palms, feet, side. That's how much he loves us. So no matter how much we might have been hurt by someone, he knows what that is like. Forgiveness is not so much for you. Well, yes, forgiveness is very much for you. It allows yourself to carry on without carrying so much of that weight, by knowing that Christ has already suffered for it, that his love is for all of us, even those who have hurt us. For as those that have hurt me, I have hurt other people, and those people have hurt other people. And we have taken moments, we have taken those gems from people. And so we give them back. And there stands before us is the Christ, the chosen one, the Messiah. Could you imagine? After forgiving and being forgiven of your trespasses, you stand before the Son. And he says, well done.